Today we got the return of Shatter Blast into Black Ops 6 Zombies. But what's different about this is the augments, and believe it or not, using the right augments on this could make this actually really good and potentially the best ammo mod in the game. And I really mean that. You guys are going to be pretty surprised with that. But I'll also be going over the best combos to use, because I think there's at least 2 different combos that are pretty solid when you're using this one. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But as always, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Shatter Blast down in the comment section below. Let me know if you're liking it, not liking it, don't care, anything like that. And while you're down there, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and maybe even hit that bell button. But with that said, let's talk about some Shattered Blast. Now, before we could get into the augments, let's talk about what Shatter Blast does by default. And what it says is each bullet has a chance to create an explosion that destroys armor. Now, to be clear here, this explosion also does deal damage to any zombies nearby. It's just not that much initially, but we'll come back to that in a bit. But the destroying armor part is very nice, because if you shoot this into a horde of zombies, especially if there's some armored zombies there, it instantly knocks off all the armor off of those armored zombies, which makes them a lot easier to kill. So this is something that is actually pretty nice use. But why you really want to use this, and what it's really good against, is going to be the manglers, because if you get it to activate on a mangler, it will immediately take off all of their armor, making them so much easier to kill. So that is the best thing about this, at least in its default form. Now, one awkward thing I did notice about this is for some reason I couldn't get Shatter Blast to activate on a special enemy by default. Like if I just had one mangler and that's all I wanted to shoot at, like for some reason Shatter Blast just wouldn't activate on it, and I don't really know why. And that applied to elite enemies too, and the only way I could really get it to activate was if I shot regular zombies near these special and elite enemies, which is weird, but I don't know if that's a glitch or intentional, or I was just really unlucky. But it's something to keep in mind. But it's pretty simple to understand what its default ability is. So now let's instead start talking about its augments. And I'm going to be talking about these in combos, because I think there's actually 2 really solid combos that you could actually use this for. One being a lot better in my opinion than the other, and then the other 2 augments that I think are completely useless. And let's just get the useless ones out of the way with. The first one that is completely useless is going to be Big Game. Shatter Blast can activate on elite enemies. Now, first off, this is annoying because, like I've already said, for some reason I can't get this Shatter Blast to activate just on an elite enemy. Like I'm having to shoot zombies near them, which again, I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever. But even when I do get it to activate on an elite enemy, it really doesn't do that much damage to him, even like the first elite enemy that spawns. And I just don't really think that's what it should do. Like, especially when you have Big Game that can instantly kill an elite enemy on a couple other ammo mods, like it's just not something that is worth using. And honestly, I find this one to be pretty useless. The other useless augment is going to be a minor augment, being Blast Wave. Normal enemies are knocked down by the explosion. And I'm just wondering, like, what is the point of this? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to have zombies on the floor that you might backtrack over, and they might still be on the floor, and you're just going to get stuck on them. And I just don't know why you use it over especially the other 2 minor augments. So these 2, don't use them. They're terrible. But now I want to move on to the combo of augments that is not really like the best one. There's definitely one that's really good that we're going to get into in a bit, but this is more of the fun one. Like, you have fun with this one. Like, it's pretty cool just to mess around with. But this one is going to require you not only to use this augment combo, but also even use other augments and other perks, which we'll talk about. But first off, what is the combo? Well, it's going to be Blast Repair. When Shatter Blast destroys enemy armor, some of your armor is restored. Pretty self-explanatory, but what's going to make that even better is if you combo that with Blast Zone. Increase the size of the explosion. Now, you could probably already figure out why that's a great combo, because by default your explosion isn't that big, but by using Blast Zone, the explosion is going to be bigger and affect more zombies, and every zombie that is affected by that explosion will instantly have their armor removed, which means that with more zombies that have their armor removed, you're going to be receiving more armor. And this is actually a really fun combo, because if you activate it on a decent amount of armored zombies and even a mangler, it's going to actually give you a lot of armor. You could actually get in a situation where you're not going to have to plate up that often, which is kind of fun. Now, the only drawbacks to all of this is that sometimes when you activate it, you're just not going to hit any armored zombies, and you're just not going to receive any armor. And kind of the even bigger problem for this is that it's pretty useless for the first 30 rounds of your game, because there's just not enough armored zombies in the first 30 rounds. Now, what this is ideal for is that round 30 30 to 40 because you have a decent amount of armor and you could still be using a regular bullet gun, but anything after that is just not really useful. And that's the problem with this. That's why I don't really recommend this combo, even though it is fun. It's only really useful for around 30 to 40. So, you know, it is what it is, but it's still a fun one. Try it out if you guys want. It's fun. But now let's actually get serious here and talk about the by far best combo in the game. And what this is going to be, and what really makes it amazing, is this major augment. And this is going to be Blast Chain. Shatter Blast has additional detonations, and that really doesn't tell you how good it is. We'll get into that in a bit, but to make it even better, you want to combo that with Blast Boost, increase the explosion damage, and right away, without even continuing this video, put these two augments on because it is amazing. But even with that said, let's explain why. Now, what this is going to do is when it activates, it's not just additional, it is a lot of additional detonations are going to happen. Like, you'll shoot it and in that spot it activates on, it's going to keep exploding for a while now, like for 5 seconds, which is a crazy amount of time for this to be active for. And it's going to have a lot of detonations in a row, and each of those detonations is doing a decent amount of damage. Especially with that combo of Blast Boost, these explosions are going to be doing 5,100 damage for each explosion, and that's a crazy amount of damage. Now, the only drawback to all of this is that you are going to have to make sure you run the zombies back into where that initial detonation activated, because it doesn't like follow your train or anything like that. It doesn't have like a linking effect here. It's just going to be once it activates in that one spot, that's where all the additional explosions are going to happen. But if you do that and you do run your zombies through that explosion over and over again while it's active, this could potentially kill up to half of your entire horde based on which round you're on. And that's unheard of in Black Ops 6. Ammo mods just don't do that much damage in this game. Like, there's not an ammo mod in this game that kills that portion of zombies per activation. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not going back to like Black Ops 3 style ammo mods where they could take out almost the entirety of your horde, but it's still solid at killing zombies. This is by far now the best ammo mod to use to just kill zombies, because the rest just don't kill zombies like this one does. So if you want an augment that's actually going to kill zombies, this is it. Use Shatter Blast with Blast Chain and Blast Boost. You won't regret it, and this is a #1 combo I recommend, and I absolutely love it. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Now, if you guys did find this useful, like at the start of the video, I would very much appreciate if you guys like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff. But also, if I did miss anything, any good combos, or just overlook something throughout this video, because that always happens when it comes to these things, especially on release day when I'm recording this, let me know down in the comment section below. Maybe there's a combo that I'm missing out on. Maybe there's something that's really good against. Maybe it's a boss fight or an elite enemy that's specifically good against when you use some specific situation. There's always something like that I'm going to miss. But besides that, I very much appreciate you guys watching. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.